Hey everybody, this is Candace Yvette with Black Women Aware. First, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who comes by and supports my page. It really does mean a lot to me. If you all can please press the like or dislike button and subscribe, comment, or even email me if you have any suggestions, questions, or concerns. My email is always going to be in the description box. Again, thank you for visiting my channel. Hey guys, it's Candace Yvette with Black Women Aware. So I had to jump in real quick and give this message. First, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you for visiting my page. Thank you for showing support and being concerned about the injustices that Black women and children face every day in the United States. I really do appreciate your support. You don't know how much that means to me, especially because I myself am a Black woman. I'd also like to put this quick disclaimer out there. Do not come to my page victim shaming or blaming. You will be immediately blocked for that. I do not tolerate it. There is no need for it. And I'm pretty sure you knew what you were saying in the comment before you posted it. So be respectful. Many of the victims, their families come back and they visit this page. I am their advocate. This is their safe space. No disrespect will be tolerated. You all have a good day. I'm going to let you go back into the commentary. Every 5.5 hours in the United States of America, a Black woman or child is murdered. Stop killing Black women. Stop killing Black children.
I don't want her to think that no one cares.
A local 14-year-old missing for 4 months now. Her family desperate to bring her home.
Today marks exactly 4 months since Sakina Hannah went missing.
Her family tells us ever since then, it really feels like her case has been pushed aside.
Our Celeste Springer spent the day digging to find out how missing person cases are investigated and why some may seem to get more attention than others.
She joins us live now with more on Sakina's case and others who are just like her. Celeste.
Ever since Sakina went missing, her aunt has posted all over social media trying to find her. But we found disappearances like hers aren't as uncommon as we would like to think, and family tells us they just want this case to be taken seriously. Their family also opted to have their interview interpreted in sign language so this information can reach as many people as possible. Katrina Franklin shows off her niece's paintings. She has these to hold on to, but the artist is gone.
I want Sakina Hannah to know that her auntie and her family love her, and we want you home.
Sakina was in foster care when she went missing, and according to the incident report from the Scrubbin County Sheriff's Office, she was identified as a possible runaway. Family left asking that the case is treated the same regardless.
Because if it was your child and your little beating heart, you would not say, oh, she's just a runaway. What they need to know, and what many people need to know, is the part of the brain that is responsible for making adult decisions is not completed.
The FBI sorts missing persons into different categories. Law enforcement takes into account if the person is a juvenile, if they have a disability, or possibly if they left willingly. According to 2016 data from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, 90% of the cases they assisted on were endangered runaways.
When people do go missing, if we think that, oh, well, they're just a runaway, then we really lose that critical first 24, 48, or even 72 hours to really find them. It shouldn't matter why they ran away or why they're missing. The fact is that, okay, somebody has reported them missing. Let's investigate this.
And for this family,
If it was your child and your little beating heart, you would not say, oh, she's just a runaway.
Sakina is more than just a statistic. Now, obviously, social media plays a...
Hey, what's up, y'all? So, before you get started watching this video, I'm going to need you to do and understand a few things. One, if you have not already watched the first video that I covered on Alexis Phillips, I need you to go back and watch that video because this case is so chaotic. It is so complicated. It is so confusing that if you do not watch that first video, you're not going to understand what is going on. Okay? And secondly, I need you to understand that, y'all, I've been up all night studying and researching this case. It is so chaotic. confusing and complicated that my nerves are bad. For those of y'all who've been watching my videos for a while, you know that I'm a very spiritual person and I pick up on people's energies very, very easily. This is why I'm an introvert and I really don't like going around people like that, because people carry different demons. I got my own set of demons that I deal with. My viewers already know the main demon that I deal with, which is the fact that I cuss like a sailor. I notice about myself, the one thing that you will find when you come on this channel is I try to be as transparent as possible about myself. Not really about my personal life, but about the things that I struggle with. You know, I might be lukewarm, but I'm not ashamed to tell nobody about who I am. But I mentioned all of that because, like I said, I've been up all night researching this story, and the energy that I picked up off of Antonio Hannah is so toxic that it literally had my hands shaking, y'all. Like, he did not in a way that I was scared, but my nerves was bad. You know what I'm saying? I can't be around stuff like that. It's some conversations that I cannot even like you know how you go around family members and they're all gossiping and they're talking about another family member. I can't be a part of that because I usually leave with a headache and I have to go be alone and recharge. Don't ask me to explain it further. I don't know how to explain it further. That's the best you're gonna get. But anyways, in this video, we're going to be discussing the 14-year-old missing daughter of Antonio Hannah. Her name is Sakina Hannah. She has a really pretty name, by the way. But I am going to read this article and I'm going to give my commentary throughout. So this article was written by the Augusta Chronicle. It was published on August 30th of 2021. A 14-year-old female foster child who was living in Newington remains missing after she reportedly made a decision in May to run away. Now, if she was in foster care and she made a decision to run away, then CPS and authorities should not only be investigating the fact that she ran away, but what's my favorite question, y'all? Why? Why did she run away from foster care? What was happening in that foster care? Was that child being abused in some way in that foster care? And if so, why didn't somebody do something to step in and address it and either place the child somewhere else, or like if it's a situation where she's not being abused but some neglect is going on, retrain those foster care parents so they're not neglecting these foster children. Foster children have been through enough trauma. They don't need nobody adding to their trauma. Feel me? You know, and then that also begs the question of why is she in foster care in the first motherfucking place, right? So I'm going to give my commentary on what I know about CPS. Not really around these relatives a lot, but I do have a couple relatives who work with CPS, and one is a therapist, and she works with the parents and children of CPS all the time. So the one thing that I do understand about CPS is usually when they come into a custodial parent or guardian's life, they come because they have an allegation and they try to rule out whether or not that allegation is true or false. If the findings happen to be true, or they find things in question and they want to remove the children and they're successful at removing the children from what was the custodial parents' care, what they do is they usually go to a next of kin. Before they place them in foster care, they go to a next of kin. Usually, in most cases, the next of kin is the fathers. And they contact the fathers and they try to place the children with the fathers. Now, depending on the case, depending on the severity of the case, they either grant the father temporary custody or they grant the father permanent custody, right? So, in this case, I have to wonder, one, why is she in foster care? What happened with her custodial parent to where they had to place the child in foster care, or, you know what I'm saying, where they had to remove the child in the first place? What happened with her mother or grandmother to where they had to remove the child from their care? That's the first question I have. The second question I have is, why weren't they able to place the child in the care of the father? You know what I mean? What's going on so bad with this father that they had to place this child in foster care? And he's not understanding or answering that question in his lives. So I get the fact that he's homeless, and he could probably even use that as an excuse. Oh, well, I'm homeless and this is why they couldn't place her in my care. Okay, but I understand other things about CPS. Usually when people get cases with CPS is not there to demonize the custodial parent. They don't really try to come in and just take your kids and hurry up and put them in foster care. They try to straighten the parent out and where they feel there is an issue, and they try to reunify the child and parent. So how do they go about doing that? Like, if you got a history of abusing your children or you're not parenting right, they put you in parenting classes. If you need help with child care, because say you probably been leaving a child in the care of people like your boyfriend or whoever else, and they're really not really good babysitters for your child, they will help with getting you child care. They will help with housing. They will help getting you furniture. They'll help the child with getting a child a tutor. They'll help the parent and the child by getting them therapists. And they have all these different people come in and set up a plan or a goal that the parent and the child should work towards. That's what they do. Now, I ain't gonna say most of the time they're perfect or they're angelic people when they go in and do this, because there have been reports and I have been told horror stories about how CPS workers have allegedly came in and tried to solicit sexual favors from parents. I have been told how children are abused in foster care. So I'm not going to say they're a perfect system, but I'm also not going to say they're a totally demonic system and they're just out to steal your children either. Most of the time, that's not true. And if your children goes to foster care, that's because CPS went down the line and they could not find a parent or guardian within the family who was fit enough to take the child, right? So now that I got that out the way, you guys kind of understand, I'm going to keep going. Sakina Hannah is a black female who is 5'5" and 130 pounds. She was last seen on May 22nd. Screven County Sheriff's Office investigator Dwight Singleton said he has received information over the weeks as to Hannah's whereabouts, but most have been baseless claims. He asked anyone with information about Hannah to contact the sheriff's office at, and I'm going to put their number in the description box as well, but the number is 912-564-2045. We are asking any family or friends who know her to reach out and help us. Singleton said of the Hannah, who is residing in Newington for approximately a year. So, okay, was she in Newington for a year or was she in foster care for a year? You know, what was going on? And if she was in foster care for a year, something really going on, because most CPS cases that last years, that means somebody is not, like, CPS has a bunch of hoops that they want you to jump through to get the custody of your children back and get them out of your hair. So if they're in your life for a year, then it's multiple things going wrong that they had to address probably. That's my guess. That's my theory. In my opinion, it was a clear runaway. Certain things were done to leave the house undetected. So they basically saying she planned, and they have proof that she planned to run away. But again, I'm annoyed and I'm irritated with that sentence as well, because if they know that certain things were done, if they know that this 14-year-old child planned to run away. And let me tell y'all something. Usually when children run away, like I said in the Josiah Moore videos, usually when children run away, you cannot only address the fact that they ran away. You have to also address what caused them to run away. I was a runaway myself at 17, and if y'all want to know more about my testimony, I'll share it. I ran away. I was gone for 2 weeks, but you cannot just look at the child and say, oh, you were wrong. You should understand that there's other dangers in the world that could happen to you, and you're wrong for running away. No, because you're further, I feel like when people do that, they're ignoring what the child is trying to communicate through their actions. This child is trying to communicate, baby, this environment that you have me in is toxic, and I don't give a damn if I got to face Lucifer himself. I would rather go out and face the fucking world than to stay my ass here and keep dealing with you. You see what I'm saying? So that's what irritates me about that, is because he's not saying what that child, or this article rather, is not saying what that child was dealing with in that foster care. Let me go on. Singleton said law enforcement who are concerned about the missing child's well-being believes Hannah has received assistance from others in her not being found. So people have stepped in and helped this girl get out of that system. He says she did not have the finances for living on her own. As per the investigation, authorities do not think Hannah wants to be located. So yeah, the same with the father. The father said the same thing on one of his lives, y'all. And I tried to hurry up and download that live and save it and all. And I couldn't, because the very second that I clicked off and clicked back on, the live was gone. He had deleted it, right? And basically what he was saying in that live is he was saying that he was contacted by his daughter. Like, Sakina reached out and contacted him, and by the time she contacted him, the FBI authorities had also been in communications with him. So what he said he tried to do is he tried to set her up to where, like, he tried to lure her to him, and before like the whole plan could even go down, Sakina picked up on the fact that he was trying to set her up, and she never went to where her father was. And this is his words. I don't know how true or false this is, but she never went towards where her father was, and she picked up on the fact that he was setting her up, and she cut all communication with him, right? And so it must have some truth in it, because Detective Singleton in this article is also confirming that she does not want to be located. One of the issues of foster kids is collecting information, as they are only here for such a short period of time. I'm going to read that again. One of the issues of foster kids is collecting information, as they are only here for a short period of time. So did y'all pay attention to what I was asking before? I said that because it said in this article that Sakina had been in Newington for a year. And did y'all hear what I had just said? I said, was she in Newington for a year, or was she in foster care for a year? And they're confirming again what I had said just before. He said that foster kids are only there for a short period of time. Again, why was she in foster care for a year? That's not normal for foster kids to be in the system for a year. Like, the majority of them, usually, like, the parents get their shit together and they get out and they're reunified. A lot of times they were bounced around from house to house. We know those situations and those cases happen, but the majority wise, the kids are reunified or they're adopted out. So you know, it further, basically what I'm saying is it further lets me know that something's not right with her mother or the father. And, you know, that's just my opinion. Again, that's my theory. During his investigation of the missing teenager, Singleton said he has been told that Hannah was possibly being held against her will, staying in Statesboro and heading to Florida to be with a relative. Each account, however, turned out to be false. The most important problem we are having with locating her is the misleading information, Singleton said. It really speeds up the process when people are honest. Those people who are harboring her will be prosecuted. And that's the end of that article. But yeah, y'all got my full opinion on it. I'm wondering what happened to where CPS was involved with this child in the first place. 2, if she could not be reunified with her original custodial parent, which in most cases is the mother, why couldn't the father gain custody of her? You know, and like I said, usually if you have a housing issue, I don't think homelessness is an excuse, because CPS will help you with shelter if it's a housing issue, because they don't have the means or the resources to just take people's kids and put them in foster care, because there's not a lot of foster parents or people willing to be foster parents out there, right? So, and it looks like from his videos, I also wanted to add this in, it looks like in his videos, because I was wondering, I'm like, how the hell is they affording to stay in a hotel and they're homeless? Like, where's the money coming from? You know, because on average, like Like low-level hotel motels are like 70 to 80 to almost $100 a night. Where are they getting all this damn money? He got all these electronics in his room. Where all this shit is coming from? You know what I mean? I'm not saying that homeless people don't have phones or nothing. Yeah, obviously some of them do, you know, and I don't think they all live in boxes or tents or shit like that. Pretty aware of that, being that at one time I was homeless myself. But I still wonder how they got the money to live in this hotel. But from what I'm being told and from what I've seen, a lot of people nowadays are able to get in hotels and use them as shelters because since the pandemic, the government has been paying. They're not really hotels anymore. Like, they're buildings that were originally hotels and they're using them as housing for the homeless. You know, so I'm thinking that's what's going on with him and Alexis now. But yeah, y'all, I gotta get off of here. I gotta recharge. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. This is turning into a total shit show. It really is. And the best thing that I could say that would help Alexis and Antonio is they need to stay their asses off the internet. Alexis and Antonio, if he really did care about his newborn, he needs to separate himself from that young girl so she can get that baby back. But again, if she has mental health issues, she does not need custody of that child. That's just my opinion. Y'all be safe, be alert, and be aware.
Oh,